Hi guys, welcome back to my channel, Monkey Wrench. I'm Kelly, the monkey with the wrench. Be quiet. I'd like to say hi to all my new subscribers. We are almost at 800, and I appreciate every one of you. And I'd also like to say hi to Google Earth, in case you're watching, for all my stalkers out there. Today, we are working on this Echo, I think it's Echo, yep, Echo, hedge trimmer. This belongs to a commercial lawn service customer of mine, and he brought it in to me, and he said, it's doing this weird thing, can you fix it? So let me put the tripod legs up so I can show you what it's doing. Okay, so he uses this thing, in his words, this is his bread and butter. So what's happening is, when you pull the cord, it's clicking, and the spinning mechanism in there is actually skipping past the shaft. Now, when you look at this, see if I can get you a better view. When you look at this, I gotta zoom out. When you look at this and you have a straight line from your shaft, your motor should be completely perpendicular, should be a complete straight T. And what we have here is a crooked motor. You can see here that it's come out of the casing. Now, what that says to me is either he had it on a rack system on the side of his trailer, and the rack system kind of works just like the one that I have on my zero turn. It's just a bar that comes out and you set the machine on it, and then on the front, even though I have mine on my axle just sitting on, it's the same thing. It just sits on a bar in two spots. The problem with those, and everybody uses them and there's nothing wrong with them, but the one problem with them is, very simply, as you're driving up and down the road, it kind of wants to just wobble. It wants to jump and bounce on those arms. And the head is a lot heavier than the shaft. So basically what you have going on is it's doing this the whole time. It's kind of like, it'd be kind of like taking and hitting something with my wrist. My hand wants to go like this every time. And sooner or later, you can break the engine mount. Or this thing fell and hit something like that. It looks to me like the engine, the way it's mounted to the shaft, is broken. It could be a broken bolt that holds it to the shaft. Could be a lot of things. But if you look at this straight line coming right up, you can clearly see that the engine is cocked. It's separated here, and that's why when you pull the cord, the mechanism that spins and supposedly spins the shaft is not making contact. It would have separated, so it's skipping by it instead of making contact the way it's supposed to. So what I'm going to do is start taking the plastic off, and we're going to take a look at this thing. Alright, we're going to start by pulling the screws out, and this is a T25. Whenever you pull them out, look at the length, because some of them will be longer than others, and they may have to go back into a specific spot. So far, they look like they're all the same length. Now, he showed me that he's got a screw in here that he's already put in there, attempting to hold something. So this is different, and it's kind of in the side of the machine here, and I'm not even sure what the heck it does. It looks like it holds the muffler on, honestly. So let's just start with what we can get off of here. Take the spark plug boot off. They give you so much room with those that has to come out. Yeah, that's attached to the muffler. Wow, he has been trying to keep this thing going. He said this is his bread and butter. Holy crap. So it looks like the muffler broke off. And he might have just tried to fill in the space with a different screw or something. I don't even know how I'm going to be able to get that back on, but I'll show you under the plastic. The whole muffler is just off. It's just moving. So this is not part of your normal fix. This looks like a big long drywall screw or something in there. Yeah, he's just got a big screw in there. So let's take this off and get it out of the way. Dude, there's metal. The metal broke. Somebody attempted to get some more life out of this thing and wrapped this whole thing with metal around it and around the engine block. And there's a bunch of washers falling off of it. So I'm not sure he's got a nut as a spacer. So, you know, that will be a little bit fun to mess with. But hey, when you work and you got a machine that you use all the time, you just kind of got to do what you got to do to keep it running, because it's not cheap to pay somebody to do this stuff. Now you can see that thing was touching all the plastic and getting hot, and it just melted right through there. And you see this separation right here? That should not be happening. The whole thing is cocked, just like I expected it to be. The shaft goes straight, and then the engine is cocked. So let me see what I can find out, and I'll bring you back and show you. I brought you outside where you could see better. You see this ring right here? Okay, this round spacer. That's actually the end of your shaft. And if you look here, the engine right here cups around that shaft. It just cups right around it. And it is completely off. It's completely out. I'm trying to get y'all a better view. This portion is the motor, and it is supposed to be down around that cup. So it's up about an, I don't know, 3/4 of an inch. It's cocked. It's supposed to be down there covering that cup, and instead it's off just like that. So we're definitely broken. Let me pull some more apart and see what I can find. So you can see it now that it's completely off on this side. There's an entire space in there that is supposed to be cupped around that, and it's just not. It just came out. So unfortunately, I'm going to have to remove the tank and try to pull the engine apart and see what portion broke. You can see the space in here that's not supposed to be there. The engine just broke off of the shaft is what happened. Now we're going to pull it apart. I'm going to talk to him, and then if he wants me to pull it apart, I will, and we'll see why it failed. Well, that was easy. We know why it failed now. Trying to get in here. You see this right here? That's your engine mount. That's your motor mount right there. That's metal, and that busted and sheared off completely. It's missing. So whenever this thing hit the ground or bounced one too many times on his rack system, that thing just cracked and fell out. It's gone. It's missing completely. And you can't tell really, but it goes to the engine right here, all the way back here, and it's completely busted off. And on this side, see if I can get in there and show you. I can't see shit because it's so fucking sunny out here. Try and get in where I can show you. so you can see what's going on. Let me take this out of the holder. Sorry, every time I try to edit, I lose sound. So you guys are just going to have to bear with me here. Okay. Now on this side, getting his wire out of the way. This right here is your engine mount, and it's shattered completely across there. I can fit my screwdriver in there. It's completely busted. So the only thing that's holding this on, because the one on the other side is completely missing, the only thing holding this motor on right now would be a screw, probably the screws that connect the fuel tank to the motor on the back is probably all that's holding this thing on. There is no fixing this. When the motor mount broke, the other one cracked and shattered, and there is zero way to fix that. You can't weld something to it to pull it back in place. This machine is toast. It's trash. Now, if you had another Echo head, an Echo motor, you would be able to pull the motor off of here and reuse the shaft. The other problem that I found right here when I tried to tighten this is that it will not tighten. And I do not see underneath, there's no bolt head. Okay? So it looks to me, again, probably from being up on that rack system and bouncing around, because this blade is heavy, that it just does that until it's stripped out, and it more than likely just stripped the threads out of that bolt because it won't tighten. This one was loose too, but I was able to tighten it up, but this one is just stripped out. So this whole head just wobbles all over the place, and I can't, hang on, I can't show you when I'm trying to hold the camera and hold the machine. Okay, this thing just wobbling all over the place. The screw is wobbling, and what it looks like is that it just stripped the threads out of there. That should not be wobbling like that. It's only being held on by one screw right now. So sooner or later, this one was loose. It would have loosened this one the rest of the way up. This thing would have shot off the end, screwed it up inside, and it would have been trash anyway. So if you are working with one of these machines, you must give it at least monthly maintenance. You must check that everything, all your screws, all your bolts, everything is tight. Because this little problem right here stripped out a bolt, and when this one finally went, which wouldn't be too much longer, another hour of use or more, this whole thing would just shred itself and be trash. So if he had not already broken the motor, and I say he, it wasn't his fault. I mean, it could have been. It could have fallen. And if it fell and hit the motor, it could have shattered those. But that's our problem, shattered motor mounts. And like I said, there is no fixing this. It's a shame because I'm sure that the machine, the motor probably still runs. But it's just, there's no way to fix it. And, you know, it's clever putting this wire, trying to hold the muffler on. A lot of times, and it looks like somebody drilled that hole bigger than that one. And you can use a tap and die set, and you can make those bigger and put threads in there and put the proper bolts in when stuff gets worn out. This thing is old. It's been around for a while. I don't know how old. My guess is it's probably more than 10 years old. 2011. So it's 11 years old, August of 2011. It's right there. August 2011. So this thing is 11 years old, used commercially. They were probably $500-600, and I'm sure they got their use out of it. But this one is no fixing. So I'm going to end the video here. I'm not even going to bother putting the muffler or the plastics back on it. It's just unnecessary. This thing's at best going to take the head off for him so he can shaft. But finding another motor that will fit this, you know, I run a shop and I have machine after machine after machine after machine of all brands: Craftsman, Bolin, Still, Echo, Husqvarna. There's more of them back there. There's more of them back here. And even and I personally run an Echo, even I don't come across motors that would fit on there. The only other thing that he would be able to do would be to take the blade system off. Okay, that just unscrews here and here, and this whole blade system would come off the shaft. And then if he had another, if he had an Echo with a split, like this is a weed eater head for this Craftsman that splits for attachments. It's made that way. This Husqvarna splits for attachments. So if that blade system actually matched the diameter, he could put that on this Husqvarna. All that's important, they all work the same way inside. They just have a square, flexible shaft, and it just goes into the piece. So that's all this does. So if this diameter was the same as, say, that Husqvarna, he could take that off here and put it on that Husqvarna. So that's the one good thing about these things being all interchangeable. But with that being stripped out, that would have to be drilled, retapped, put a larger screw or bolt in there, and that's just trash. So my guess, it's paperweight. I'm not going to put any more time or effort into it because I don't get paid for this. So thanks for stopping by. Hit the like button if you would. It's right between my chin and my balls. It helps a ton, believe it or not. I know you don't want to see me pop up on your feed all the time, but it helps me a ton. The more people that like my video, the more YouTube will show it to people that haven't seen me yet. And I'm growing by 5 or 10 subscribers every single day. We're almost at 1,000, and I appreciate every one of you. Hit the subscribe button on your way out the door. Thanks for stopping by, and we'll see you soon.